Hello everyone, this is Douglas E. Welch, and welcome back to another edition of In the Garden, presented by A Gardener's Notebook. For more information on this video and the blog and podcast, visit douglasewelch.com. Now today we're harvesting compost from our 2 compost bins in the backyard. Over the years we've got these 2 bins to work pretty well. Right now, because we are in the middle of winter, things are a bit dry and the temperatures are down, so the composting has slowed down a bit. That said, I was still able to pull quite a bit out of each of the bins, and also take a little opportunity to turn the bins, which I normally don't do. The great thing about these bins is that you just simply load them from the top and you harvest from the bottom. I'm not a big fan of working in my compost bins a lot, so this makes it so much easier. You just put the raw materials in the top, and typically out the bottom comes the finished compost. Now, as you can see here, I don't have a fancy compost sifter at all. I simply have a piece of galvanized hardware cloth that I've had lying around from another project, and I just use that to quickly sift the compost. From this angle, you can see how I just use the long handle shovel to reach into the bottom of the compost bin as far as I can, bring the composted material out on top of the hardware cloth, and either give it a good shake, which you saw me doing in the first clip, or simply use my shovel to drag the material back and forth. The finished compost, the finer material, quickly sifts through into the bin below, while leaving the more heavy material, the unfinished composted material, on top, where I simply push it off into another pile and load it back into the compost bin later. Some of the larger items take quite a while to compost, and in fact they may not compost at all unless you have a really good compost pile. That said, I tend to try to put everything I can into the compost bins, even if I have to run it through a couple of times. And here you see the finished sifted compost. Now you'll notice there are quite a few leaves in it and some small pistachio shells I noticed. Those do take a while to break down in the compost, but they don't hurt to have in the garden. They'll simply break down there. Now this batch of compost was destined for this circular bed where a pine tree once existed. This is where we had the zucchini and the pumpkins growing, and in fact you can see a zucchini plant in the background, and there's actually a small little pumpkin plant in the foreground there. We'll see how he takes on and if he survives into the rest of the year. Now, eventually, it was kind of drizzling today, so once the rain stops, I'm going to come out with my cultivator. I'm going to work this entire circle because we're planning on planting onion sets and garlic in this same spot. Thanks for watching this edition of In the Garden. We hope you've enjoyed it. If you have, please click like on the YouTube video. It helps other people to discover all of my videos. For more information, you can visit the website, douglasewelch.com. Until next time, keep digging.